Good morning, friends, and welcome to day 10 of our 21-day water fast. Guys, didn't I tell you that this time would go by really quick? Can you believe that we're on day 10 already? We're on day 10. We're just moving right along. And this is, the deeper we go into it, the deeper you'll finally come to realize just how beautiful this moment and this experience really is. The number 10 represents wholeness, Wholeness, or holiness. The number 10 represents holiness or wholeness. If anybody, I always try to give a little, for whatever day we're on, I always want to give what the number represents. So I just want to applaud everybody for staying faithful, staying true to your original intent when we started this fast. Now, sometimes during a fast like this, that you may have to make adjustments, okay? So it's like, especially if you have a job. Now, because we're not fasting in ideal conditions. Normally, when you fast in ideal conditions, you retreat, you go away, and you don't have the stress that comes from working a job or being around other people, being around people making food and doing whatever. So in light of that, for the water fasters, if at any point you feel that, especially if you have a job, now if you don't have a job and you can just beast through on the water fast, I'm going to encourage you to beast through on the water fast, especially if you're looking for a breakthrough. Okay, if you're looking for the breakthrough, most people, regardless of their health situation, can go 21 days on water totally without, and that's not a long time, without any help. Now this is a high standard. My standards are higher than, look, two days ain't nothing. 3 days, 21 days. You can do this. Like if you're not in a work capacity or you're not around people, then you should be able to do this, okay? So it's not hard, guys. It's just, taking your water in, staying in gratitude, because gratitude will keep you out of anger and it will keep you out of fear. That's the purpose of gratitude. You can't be angry and fearful. You can't be grateful and fearful at the same time. You can't be grateful and angry at the same time. A lot of us deal with deep anger issues, whether they're conscious or unconscious. Gratitude, that's the purpose of gratitude, is to keep you out of those frequencies so that you don't have to go through that. It keeps you out of anger and it keeps you out of fear. And those two emotions, probably more than any other emotions that we deal with, thwart us on our path to achieving and getting what we really want out of life. Those two emotions, fear, anger. We get angry because we don't, sometimes life may or may not be fair, and we get angry. We get resentful because, man, I let that happen. But you got to understand something, babe. What's the first principle of success? The first principle of winning in life is this: you have to be willing to take 100% responsibility for your life. What does that mean? When somebody cuts you off in traffic, whose fault is it? You got to own that. You still have to own it. You said, well, they cut me off. Why is it my fault? You have to own it. I don't know. Maybe you created it some way, but you still have to own it. Well, look, when somebody cuts you off in traffic, don't flick them off. Don't give them the bird. Don't road rage them. You say, well, how did I create this? What, or if whenever anything happens to you, and what I'm finding, guys, things don't necessarily happen to you. They happen for you. They happen for you. Things don't happen to you. They happen for you. No matter how bad it may seem in a moment, if we can sort of look at things from a macro perspective, instead of always from a micro perspective, we can get a bigger picture of what's really going on. So things don't happen to us; they happen for us. And the number one principle, top principle, is taking full responsibility for your life. Whether you're directly responsible for something or indirectly responsible for something, some way we created it. What are the 4 levels of creation? Your thoughts, your words, your actions, and your inactions. Those are the 4. The most powerful are the last 2, your actions and your inactions. What you do or what you fail to do will govern your life perhaps more than any one thing, okay? You can think of things, but baby, if you don't act on it, it's probably not gonna manifest, okay? You can speak a thing, but if you're not, we create the fruit of our lips with our words, but if we're not acting on that, then you're probably gonna not you're not gonna create anything. So let's be mindful of that, guys, that the first principle is personal responsibility. Take on 100% responsibility for your life, whether you're directly responsible for something or indirectly responsible for it. You're still accountable. Okay, you're still accountable. It's like, okay, I'll give you an example. We all grew up. We didn't have the best diets growing up, and it wasn't necessarily our fault or even our parents' fault, but we still have to pay the price for it. You know, we're still going through stuff that, you know, we may or may not have experienced as kids because we didn't have the knowledge. The knowledge, we weren't in this age yet. The age of information hadn't come yet, so we were still in the age of darkness. Right now, we're in the golden age. We're in the age of information. The problem with being in the age of information, this is also the age of misinformation. So that you can get it on both things. We're getting bombarded with information, but we don't. A lot of times we don't have the wisdom to undergird the information, and so we're, you know, we miss out on a lot of things because it's all about wisdom, number one, and getting the right information. All books are not created equal. All books are not created equal. All information is not created equal. Okay. And getting back, guys, listen, I always get thrown off because I like, you know, my thoughts, I go in one way and I want to talk about one thing, but it gets me another thing. But I just want to say, for those of you who are on the water fast, if you have a job and you feel like you need to switch over to the juice, you can do that. Okay. Because you have a job. I applaud you for going as long as you have just on water working a job, because it's not the ideal situation. Okay, you're a beast for doing that. So if you want to switch over, these are the liquids that you can have on the juice side. You can have, obviously, you can drink water. You can drink the fresh living juices, or you can have the cold pressed juices. Okay, you can do it either juice yourself, or you can go to Whole Foods or a health food store and they'll do it for you. Obviously, you can have young coconut water. You can have herbal teas. You can have the teas. You can do the smoothies. You can have kombucha. Definitely, I would say kombucha, because that gives you the probiotics. You can have sparkling mineral water like Mountain Valley mineral water or Perrier. You can have apple cider vinegar tonics. I love apple cider vinegar tonics because they're so easy to make and they're really good. You know, I prefer that over the herbal tea. Or you can just have the infused water. And when you infuse water, one of the best things that I like to put in infused water is MSM. That's methylsulfonyl methane. And you don't put that much, because if you can taste it, that just means you put too much. You want to get the powdered form. You put like maybe a teaspoon per liter in your water. It is an elemental food, and it's really, really good for you. It'll tighten you up. You want to put lemon, cucumber, strawberries, blueberries, rock salt, Celtic sea salt, black salt, and Himalayan pink salt in your water. It'll give the water a structure and a life pattern. It'll bring life to your water, and you'll still be in the cleanse. So, you know, if you have to switch over. Now, again, that's only for people who are working a job. Don't really, if you're on a water fast and you're not working, or you don't really, you know, you can keep going, stay on the water. You know, okay. This is for the people who like have a job or have other responsibilities where they just can't do it. Or, you know, most of you on the call, if you really, this is as far as you come anyway on a fast, 10 days. You know, before you probably went 2 days or 3 days or 4 days. So 10 days is good. You can go 21 days. Don't think this is all, because, you know, you can do it. It's just about being focused, being grateful, and following through. Those are the things. So remember that. That's for people that's, you know, that want to. So I don't want anybody feeling bad because they on the juice. Well, no, drink all the juice. And when you get on the juice, I recommend doing a juice, not a juice fast, but a juice feast. Ideally, you want to try to get a gallon of juice in you every day. A gallon of fresh living juice in you every day, at least a gallon of real juice. And drink that juice, because that will saturate your cells. That is the blood of Jesus. That's what it used to be called. And then obviously now we know it's the blood of Jesus. That's what the blood of Jesus is, because what? It cleanses us from all unrighteousness. Our body, our temple is filled with unrighteousness, and the blood of Jesus will cleanse us from all unrighteousness. That's what that means. The blood of Jesus, the Son, the living Christ, S-U-N, his blood, the blood of the Son, comes through the plants in the form of what? Chlorophyll. You got hemoglobin, which is human blood, and you got chlorophyll, which is plant blood. The only difference is hemoglobin hemoglobin is centered on iron, and the plant blood, chlorophyll, is centered on magnesium. Other than that, we're 99% identical. They're 99% identical. Plant blood and human blood are 99% identical. The only difference, there's only one difference. One is centered on iron, which is our blood, human blood, and the plant blood is centered on magnesium. Magnesium. But other than that, we're the same. Okay? The blood of Jesus cleanses us from all unrighteousness. That's what that means. Not the other thing that we were raised to believe, that when we died in his blood, when they killed it. No, I plead the blood. Yeah, you're gonna plead the blood when you get the juice in you. That's pleading the blood. Anybody who tells you differently either just don't know or trying to deceive you. Friends, listen, anybody who tells you different either just don't know, they're sheeple, or they're trying to deceive you. You've heard it here first. I told you guys, I tell you this every day. I'm gonna keep repeating the same thing over and over every day. This Aquarian age that we're in, and this Leo age that we're in on the earth, goes full throttle January 26, 2020, the year of clear vision, the year of clear vision. Again, what we're talking about, the word Gethsemane. Gethsemane, you know, in the Bible it states that Jesus went to the Garden of Gethsemane. Well, remember something. The word Gethsemane literally means the place of crushing. The place of crushing is where you're crushed. And as we know, he went to the garden at the end of his 40-day fast. I don't know. I don't think it was his first one. I think it's probably his fourth or fifth or maybe his seventh. He did more than one to me. And that's what he bled from every orifice of his body to eliminate the red mortal blood cells. Jesus was an immortal. 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 26 says, the last enemy that will be destroyed is death. Death is an enemy. Death is an enemy. If you die, your body's going to dismember, and you're going to leave here until you remember and come back, until you get the message and stop, until you choose to not have to go through that process anymore. That's what Enoch, the city of Enoch, he was an immortal. Elijah was an immortal. Moses was an immortal. These are guys all these immortals, they all have one thing in common. They all did the 40-day fast. More than once. Because it's a baby step process. But you don't go out starting with a 40-day fast. You start, maybe your baby step is 21 days, and then you do the juice or whatever. So I just want you guys to remember that, because, and I only share these things with you guys over and over because I know you ain't getting this. Listen, very few people know this information, because this information has been under lock and key. They destroyed it. Again, I constantly harp on this. This war has been going on for a long time, and the war is between the healers and the pharmakia. The pharmakia are simply the poison makers. That's who they are. The biggest cartel that we know of. Okay? And it's so ruthless. It is absolutely ruthless. And back in I don't know if it was the 18th century or the 17th century, they killed all the women healers. The Wicca, they were known as witches. Now, when we think of witches, we think of something negative, but witches were actually very powerful. They were the women healers. Mary Magdalene was like a witch. I told you the other day, the word worship literally means to lay on the ground and have sex with somebody. That's what the word whore means. That's where the word whore comes from. Those women, those sacred healers, they were sexual healers. Some of them were sexual healers, some of them laid hands, but during that time, you had to go through certain purification rites to even qualify to be healed, to be a healer and to be healed. So I just want to remember, Gethsemane is the place of crushing, okay? Why is the Last Supper so big? Because that was the last meal they was going to eat before. It was the last meal Jesus was going to have to eat before he went on the cross. He's about to go on the cross. That means he's about to do a water fast for 40 days. That's why it was so big. When you put yourself on the cross, that's why it's so important, guys, to study other things outside of the Bible, because so many things have been added to the Bible, things have been taken out of the Bible. If you don't understand, you don't know the original text, you can be thrown off. You can be thrown off. And I'm a big Bible lover. And I've read the whole book, all 1,189 chapters, 66 books, 39 in the old, 27 in the new. If you read 40 chapters a day, you can get you can read the Bible in 30 days. It takes about 56 hours to read the scriptures. But now you want to go beyond that, maybe go to the Upanishads or the Dead Sea Scrolls. You can read the Essene Gospel of Peace. That'll give you it'll give you more perspective on the scriptures and some of the things that have been taken out. You guys, and I constantly go over and over. I repeat myself a whole bunch and spell things out because I want you to get it and get it good. I want you to get it and get it good. And as I go through the fast, I get more downloads, but it's a little tough. It's tough because it's hard because I'm weak too. I feel like I look like a refugee as far as the weight. But so I just want you guys to know that's why the Last Supper was so big, because that was the last meal that Jesus was going to eat before he went on the cross. Just like, listen, his disciple John, his apostle John, he wrote the whole book of Revelations on the island of Patmos while he was doing a 40-day water fast. While he was doing a 40-day water fast on the island of Patmos. That's what he penned the book of Revelations. One of the greatest books in all the three Johns and Peter, they all had to go through this process to be reborn and to purify themselves of the wicked within. Narrow is the gate and difficult is the way that leads to life. Again, I constantly harp on this. All human beings incarnate on this planet into death. Nobody incarnates into life. We're born into death. We have to enter into life. Life is a door. You enter into. Every human being incarnates into death. Narrow is the gate and difficult is the way that leads to life. And a few there be who find it. And a few there be, A-F-E-W. There's your clue. Air, fire, earth, and water, there be who find it. Who find what, guys? Who finds life. Air, fire, earth, and water leads to life. The doorway to death is through that which we eat. The letter D is delta, which means doorway. In the word death, the letter D is delta. That means doorway. The doorway to death is through that which we eat. If we're not eating the food that's on God's table, we're eating the food that's on the other guy's table. And then when you eat his food, you come under his dominion. Jesus said it like this: the prince of this world is coming, but he has nothing in me, because he had purified himself. And he was smart enough to know not to go and eat the food, because all that's going to do is put you back under his reign. So you can go through the fast, and you'll get the blessings from completing the fast and from finishing it. But if you start eating again from how you used to eat, if you don't upgrade your diet and start eating life and get out of death, you're going to be right back under his scenario. And you'll have to go through a process again and again and again to stay out of it. Okay, guys. We talked about how the word oxygen literally means acid maker. The word oxygen means acid maker. The word nitrogen means spark maker. And the word hydrogen means water maker. If you look into outer space, the reason why the moon never gets old, why stars never get old, that's just so precious, is because all of outer space is hydrogen. All of outer space is hydrogen. And as we go through this process, as you purify your body and stay pure and eat only the good things that we're supposed to eat, you'll continue to rise higher and higher, so that your lungs at the surface of your bronchioles will be able to uptake more hydrogen and less oxygen. So while everybody else around you is acidifying out of here, you'll be breathing, but you'll be uptaking more hydrogen and less oxygen. This is a deep teaching. There's very few people who say, what are you talking about? People don't know about this. This is a deep teaching. The hydrogen is the water making gas. That's the key to not having to appear, disappear, reappear. Now, if that's not your goal, that you say, well, because baby, I just want to live healthy and be, that's fine. I'm just sharing you some stuff. I'm just sharing stuff. Maybe give you something to think about, because there are communities right now that are being started, that are laboring towards that goal of not having to die again. Again, like we talked about yesterday, the word die literally means, D-I-E literally means to cast a replica for future reconstruction. To die, the word die literally means to cast a replica for future reconstruction. That's what a die maker does. He casts mold for future reconstruction. So if you die, you're gonna project a cast for future reconstruction. And that's exactly what's gonna happen. Your body's gonna go to the mother, your spirit's gonna go to the father, and you're gonna hang out until your number's called, and some man plants his seed in a garden of a female, and you can come back and do this whole thing over again. And many of you on this call already know that you've been here before. We've lived many lifetimes on this planet. So I just like to share that, because I want to give some esoteric things along with the exoteric things, just so you'll know, because I know that it's important. Okay, the gospel is the good news. Now, again, the gospel used to be called the Godspell. They whittled it down to the gospel. It's the good news: north, east, west, and south. Air, fire, earth, and water leads to life. If you want the water fast, one of the great purposes of the water fast is, number one, there's more, and you'll never get it until you do that. There's more abundance, there's more everything, but we'll never get it unless we go through a process like this. Number two, the purpose is to break those old generational purposes. Number three is to really upgrade our taste buds so that we can appreciate what real food and good food really tastes like, and we can eat as much as we want from the tree of life. Now, what's the tree of life? Fruits, veggies, nuts, sprouts, seeds, greens, veggies, the whole nine. Okay, that's the chief purpose for going through a lot of things that we're going through. So that furry mouth, all the stuff, the physical things that you're going through, you're just going through those things, baby, because that's just your body saying, I'm unclean. You've abused me over and over and over again, and all I want to do is sort of get rid of this stuff. Okay, we already know that there are 13 doorways that for the human body. There's 13. Okay, there's 13 avenues of detoxification. 2 eyes, we got 2 ears, we have 2 nostrils, and we have a mouth. You got two nipples, you have a front door, and you have a back door. And then you've got the largest organ, which is your skin, and then you've got the third eye right here. As a friend, Sierra, the first eye, I remember, CC, the first eye, the pineal. And most of us has been calcified due to diet and lifestyle. So just keep that in mind. And since we're on day 10, guys, I wanted to keep it simple. I was like, what am I going to talk about today? I figured I'd write about, we're on day 10, we're going to talk about the top 10 naked foods. Now, what are naked foods? Foods that you eat that make you look really good, but naked. So that's what we're doing. I'm about to talk about the top 10 foods that we know, if you eat these foods consistently and eliminate the foods on that Sinister 6 list, eliminate those and eat these foods consistently, you will slowly but surely start to beautify even more so than you already are, because all you guys are so beautiful, but it'll add to your physical beauty, and not only your physical beauty, but your spiritual beauty. We all want beauty. Beauty is beauty. Cosmic beauty is such a joy. Okay. The number one naked food, the number one food that you can eat that we know, watermelon, by far. Watermelon. Obviously, now is not the time to eat watermelon, because watermelon is summertime food. But watermelon, there isn't a food. I mean, watermelon is like 96, 98% all water. You can even eat the seeds. You can get the orange flesh, the yellow flesh, or the red flesh watermelon, and there's just no negatives to water. You can't overeat watermelon. It's just too good. You know, it's the best post-workout food that we know. I remember there were times like I can remember back in 2006, guys. I was training for one of my marathons, and after every long run that we would be 10, 15, or 20 miles or more, there would always be a watermelon. And sometimes after a 20-mile run or something like that, I would eat a whole, or close to a whole watermelon after a training run. This was in 06, 07, 08. Watermelon. I'll tell you guys something. It's gonna sound black. It's also, to me, one of the best post. If you got a lover, it's one of the best post-sex foods that you can eat. It really is. Watermelon. It's just great. It's a great all around. It's an aphrodisiac. It just is, and it beautifies you. It makes you feel and look sexy. So yeah, watermelon. Watermelon's number one. Number two is dragon fruit. Dragon fruit. Now, I don't know how many of you have had dragon fruit, but I love dragon fruit. Some people call it passion fruit, but it's dragon fruit. It's a beautiful fruit. I can't really even describe the color. The color is like purple neon. It's just an amazing looking fruit, and it tastes so good. It's a summertime food. But if you eat, and it tastes like a mix between like kiwi and maybe a mango, but it's really good. I'm a big fan of dragon fruit. I got it number 2 on my list as far as the number 2 food, the naked food, as far as food that you can eat and make you look really good naked. But again, if you eat these foods and still eat the standard American diet, you're gonna have very little effect. So you gotta eat these foods the right, you know what I'm saying, eat them, omitting all the foods that's on our Sinister 6 list, and you'll be fine. In addition to working out, because working out will chisel you up, and it'll define you, and it'll tighten you up. Okay. Number 3 on the list is avocado. Avocado, the king of the fatty fruits. It's a great naked food. It's a food you want to eat if you want to look great, look and feel great naked. We all do. We all do. I haven't met a human that really don't. They tell you they don't. They're not being honest. Avocado. Number 4 is pineapple. Oh, pineapple. The great thing about pineapple is that it's loaded with the anti-inflammatory bromelain. So when you eat a pineapple, here's the thing. So if anybody's suffering with cellulite, this is what you do. Just eat pineapples and eat a whole bunch of them. And you can even rub it on yourself. If you have cellulite, one of the greatest things to do to get rid of cellulite is either eat 1 or 2 fruits, either the grapefruit or the pineapple. Why? Because those 2 fruits are loaded with the anti-inflammatory bromelain. So if you have cellulite that you want to get, I would say go on a pineapple grapefruit juice fast for like, and you can eat the fruit too, like 7 days, and you'll get rid of that cellulite if you have cellulite that you want to get rid of. I know some people do. So pineapple's number 4 on the list. Number 5 is jackfruit. Jackfruit is an exotic fruit, and we call it the jack of all fruits. It tastes like bubble gum. It is really good. You can even use the seeds for other things. Jackfruit is an amazing food. You can go to the Chinese market, the Asian market, to pick some up. They even have some. I haven't seen them at Whole Foods. They have jackfruit at Whole Foods. Not always. They have them. They're in and out, but they do have them at sometimes. But jackfruit is the jack of all fruits. It's an exotic fruit, and some people say it tastes like bubble gum, and it does. But you know, it's a beauty food. It's a beauty food. Number 6 on the list is durian. I first had durian back in May of 2006. That's when I first had durian. Durian, it doesn't smell. It's an exotic fruit. It's a fatty fruit. It doesn't smell particularly well, but to me, it tasted like custard, like maybe like banana custard, from a custard pie. And it was the bomb, though. And I call it nature's Maalox because it cleanses your digestive. You go to the bathroom after you eat some durian, you're going to the bathroom. We call it nature's Maalox because that's what it does. It looks like a butt. Like when you open a durian up, it looks like 2 little butt cheeks back there, and it smells like it too. It does. It really does. And it's great to clean you out. And it's an amazing food. So durian, the best place to get durian is probably at the Asian market. I've never seen them at Whole Foods. I've seen jackfruit at Whole Foods, but I've never seen durian at Whole Foods. I've always seen them at the Asian market. It's an exotic fruit, and it's number 6 on the naked foods list. Number 7 on the list, obviously, is greens. Guys, we can't eat enough greens. Greens is the centerpiece and most important food frequency, color frequency that we can put in our body. It is the most vital color of our diet, period. It is the centerpiece of the rainbow for a reason. That means the most important. Green is the color of compassion. It is the color of nature. The color green is the color of compassion. It is the color of nature, and it is the color of the heart chakra. It's vital. It's vital, guys. When I say greens, I'm talking about kale. I'm talking about chard. I'm talking about watercress. I'm talking about malva, dandelion, mint, and the list goes on. Arugula. And it's just so many others. So there's hundreds of greens that we can eat, either wild or heirloom. But greens. You start doing the greens, especially if you start doing the green juice. If you look at greens, it looks like veins are all. It's like our body. They're bodybuilding foods, guys. Greens, a lot of greens. I got it number 7 on the list. It probably could be higher, but that's number 7 on this list. Number 8, pear. Pears are such a beauty food. I was gonna put apples, but I chose pear because I prefer pears over apples. Although I love apples, I'm not knocking the apple. You can eat, that's a beauty food too. But for number 8, we're gonna go with pears. Pears are so good. Pear is a fall time food. It's an early winter food, and it is a beauty food, and it tastes really good. I prefer the red pear, but I like the golden pear as well. So you can do either one, or they got the gold and you got the green, but pears are good. So pear. Olives is number 9. Olives. Now remember something, guys. Olives they rank number 1. The olive is the number 1 mucus dissolving food that we know on planet Earth. The olive. My favorite olives are Colorado olives, but you can do the green olives, the Peruvian olives. There's so many really good olives, pitted or unpitted, and olives are good. It's one of the top fatty fruits that we know. And if you go to Israel or Jerusalem, they have olive groves almost everywhere. In Greece, olive groves everywhere because the olives is it might be I call it the queen of the fatty fruits because I'm not putting any food over avocado as far as fatty fruits. I'm going avocado king, and I'll go olive queen, but it is the number 1 mucus dissolving food that we know, and it's number 9 on our list with regard to beautifying foods, to beautifying the temple. Okay, but I'm still taking. So in this scenario, I'm going Batman with the avocado. Robin is the olive, but they're both very important. And number 10 on the list is figs. As far as the beauty foods, figs. Figs are ranked number 2 as far as dissolving mucus, right behind the olive. The fig is the number 2 mucus dissolving food that we know. They were so big in the Bible. That's why the olives were so big in the Bible. The people knew what they were doing. They knew what they were talking about. The fig, I love the figs. The figs, they are summertime food. It is a sweet fruit food. But the figs are just, eating a fig, the men, the gladiators used to always eat the figs because they were known to boost a man's testosterone and take it through the roof. Because if you notice, figs, what do? Figs, they grow in pairs and they hang like 2 little testicles. When you see figs on a fig tree, you go to a fig tree, they grow in pairs and they hang like 2 little testicles. And most guys know that figs, they boost a man's testosterone and they give them more virility. That's what figs are for. Nature has that we call these the signatures of nature. Signatures of nature. So the figs, one of the primary purposes is to boost a man's testosterone and give him his man power, his atom power back and take it to the highest level. But now that's predicated on him not eating other things that's going to negate or mitigate the good that he's doing. So if you're doing good, you don't want to eat something that's going to throw everything right off kilter. So figs is number 10 on our list with regard to beauty foods, guys. Number 10 on the list with regard to the beauty foods. And what else? Let's see, day 10. You know, guys, I got, wow. I'm going to say that for tomorrow. I'm going to say that for tomorrow. That was the, that's the monologue for today, guys. We can open it up to discussion. Anybody would like to take the microphone? Anybody? On day 10. And you listen, guys, I don't blame you for that. If you don't want to really speak or whatever, I understand that we're on day 10 and I don't feel my best either. So, or look my best. So you know, I wish I could. What is that? Is that cricket? Freeman, where do you find it? Hey, listen, AP, I don't blame everybody because listen, I don't feel my best. I wish I could put my avatar up so y'all wouldn't have to see me either.
Well, I'll go first.
Go ahead, Pete. Yes, please do.
Okay, I gotta find my list.
First, I want to ask you, did the monologue come through clear? Because sometimes I don't know because I'm not getting any feedback. Was that okay? Was the monologue
Oh,
okay?
yeah, it was perfect.
Was it okay?
Just the background noise.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so my stomach was really tight yesterday, and I was feeling like it wasn't hunger, but somehow my stomach was reacting, and it just felt it kept my mind on it. But when I slept and woke up, it wasn't like that. So maybe the rest helped. And then I'm having a hard time now drinking water. It's like I don't even want water.
Yeah, that's normal too, Pete. Yeah.
And my ankles are like really skinny now, so that's a good thing. And my fingernails seem to be growing a lot more now. And
yes.
I want to know for the people that if they want to switch to juicing, like Dara Dubonnet, she has a tonics. Are the tonics okay for people that are going to switch to juicing?
You better believe they are. Yeah, that was on my list. The tonic, you can definitely do the tonics.
Okay.
Most of Dara's and most of Dara, actually Dara's tonics are mostly tea tonic. She does tea tonics and cacao tonics. Cacao elixir. That's most of her tonic. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. You can definitely do the cacao.
Okay. And when you were talking about watermelon, like a business that I wanted to start was making watermelon juice. And so I did it like 2 years in a row. But now I'm noticing all the watermelons are seedless, and they're definitely not good, right?
See that? No. It's not that they're not good. That just means that they're hybrid. I always, even when I go to Whole Foods, in the summertime, I always have them, I either go to Whole Foods and have them order some seeded watermelon with seeds, or go to a farmer's market. Most people just don't know. Most people think seedless watermelon is okay because it's convenient. But it just means that watermelon is a hybrid watermelon. And that just simply means that it's a weaker strain. In other words, it won't survive in nature without human intervention. That's what a hybrid is. It won't, unless we intervene, it will not survive in nature. That's what hybrid. So seedless fruit are a weaker strain. It's almost like a castration. It's like taking a man and castrating him. He can still live, but he's a different man. It's taking away a man's sex organ. You take away a fruit seed, you're stripping them of their sex organ, stripping them a lot of their life source. It's not a good thing. It's not, but it's a sign of the times that we're living in. So, Pete, I think sooner or later, probably sooner, we're just gonna have to start growing our own food and really being mindful of the seeds and taking seeds, because if they start rationing off the seeds and everything, which and creating these GMO seeds and all this Franken food, we're in big trouble. So we're just gonna have to pretty much start growing our own foods. Seedless fruit, it's not that they're bad, but they're at a much lower, it's like a castrated man, okay? He ain't the same guy. You've taken away his sex organ. He has no will to achieve vibration. That's what seedless fruit is. And you notice there's a lot of seedless. Watermelons are seedless. Oranges, they're seedless. Everything. Now, grapes, when we grew up. Yeah, when we were kids, nothing was seedless. Everything was seeded. Everything was seeded when we were growing up. But we live in an age now where it's like a war going on against nature and against the children of light. Okay, who are the children of light? Well, that's a good question. That's us. Those who are meek enough to start to get this, and those are, you don't want to be judged on the other side. So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go into that dissertation, but keep going, P.
So if somebody gets to the point where they want to switch and they can't find seeded watermelon, it's okay to have seedless?
Absolutely, right. Because a lot of times seedless is so proliferated around, you're just going to have to eat seedless sometimes, What I try to do is when I go to places like Trader Joe's or Whole Foods, I'll go and talk to the produce manager and be like, can we get some seeded? I know if you get Concord grapes, they're always seeded, but they only come in a certain season. You can request them, or you can go to even farmers markets. I know so Beelzebub out now. A lot of them have only seedless fruit. So you just, again, it's gonna, at some point we just have to grow our own food.
Okay. And then the last thing is, could you put generational curses on your list to go into it more?
Sure.
Breaking generational curses.
Yep. I'll do that. Matter of fact, I'll do that. I'll do it.
Okay. Thank you.
And maybe that's something in tomorrow's monologue. Yeah, I'll do it. You're welcome. How did you so you were feeling the naked foods?
Say that again?
Did you get the naked food list? All the naked foods?
Yeah, I did. And as soon as I get some time, I want to post all these, like the list of the juices people can drink, and this is very helpful.
Yeah.
And absolutely. I had all these things. I had all these things in Hawaii and didn't even know it.
I know, right? I know. You were in the paradise pretty much. Wow.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay, P.
All right.
Thank you for sharing. Is Sierra available? C, are you available?
I'm here, Mike.
How you doing?
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm happy. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm happy as well. Because that's a choice. Right?
Yes.
We have so many things that we...
What's the good word? What's the good word? See, we want to hear from you.
Well, that was a key component right there. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
We can't, babe. We can't hear you. No, no, we can't hear you. See,
you're just
a
little low. You're a little low for me. Not as strong as you've been in past days.
What about now?
Better.
Much better. Much better.
Okay. I think it was just the phone being on mute for so long, it got an attitude.
Yeah, you're much better now.
Okay. Well, that's one of the things I wanted to speak on was your happiness. Happiness is a birthright. It's what you're born into. It is not something that's subjugated upon your mood. It's not something that's only happening because of your food. It's not something that's happening because of your situation or your circumstances. It's just a personal choice. And so, we want to understand that when we get up, this really isn't a struggle. This is simply a choice. We're choosing this fast. We're choosing to reset some things in our body. This is a very powerful place for us because we're making a choice and we're doing it with all consciousness of where we want to go with that choice. So in that, we understand that our happiness, which is a birthright, is also our choice in going forward because we're doing something very powerful. That should make us proud. It shouldn't make us clamor around in our brain and think of ways that we are angry or disgruntled or upset or concerned about something that isn't going on because we're still being nourished. I woke up perfectly fine without an alarm clock. I'm reading my books more clearer. I'm not tired. I'm lazy. I learned that. And so in so many ways where I thought like, oh, I'm tired. No, I just programmed myself into sitting around. And so what this time of being set apart is doing, it's setting me apart from the ego. You know, the consecration, that time is taking me away from the things that I didn't want to do, the things that I had made excuses for to not complete. And so this is a really beautiful time for us because we're making so many choices that we thought had been taken away from us. But the truth of the matter is we just stopped doing some things. And now we're in a great space where we can pick those things back up, place them in our lives, and along with consecrating ourselves, restore some behaviors that we had let go that were actually beneficial for us. So that's the place that I'm in today.
Wow, that's a heck of a place. And you said so many great things that I totally concur with as far as happiness. Happiness is a choice, no matter like what you have to choose, and no matter what your situation. You're one of the few. I mean, you know my situation, and you're right. It's a choice. It is absolutely a choice. So thank you again. Let's see. Thank you for sharing that. Now I got a question. I wanna hear from any of the guys because I can't see everybody in the queue. Is there any guys on the call? If there is, I don't care who it is. Can you share it? Be it Spider or E? Is there any guys or Howard? Is there any of the guys on the call? The man?
Van is there, but he's at work, so he might not be listening right.
No,
Oh, there.
I'm actually okay to talk right now. So let me just see if I could turn some lights on here. Sorry, guys. Oh, there we go. Good morning. How you guys doing?
We're doing good, Spider. We're doing good. How are you, sir?
I'm good. I'm good. And listen to Kristopher, guys. Check him out. Oh, I don't want to. I wish I could show my avatar because
I'm serious.
Kristopher's full of it. Kristopher knows he look good.
No, I don't feel like it. I don't feel like it, man. I really don't. I'm not lying. I don't like. I really don't.
I understand. Well, this is the process, man. That it breaks you down to build you up. I was listening to what you were saying about the foods, and I'm glad you said that about hybridized foods because most foods today are hybrids. I mean, at the end of the day, there's probably not a single pure food out there anymore, and they done depleted the soil so much anyway that it probably wouldn't grow properly. So, at the end of the day, I just talk to your food. Just talk to your food and restructure it. Put some loving in your food and restructure your food. It'll probably only work with living food and probably won't work with as Kristopher says, the animal sacrifices. But I would just do it. Try to stay living. I'm really going to try my best this time. To stay off of stay off the animals. I would just thank you, man. I need that awakening because every time I do this, I seem to get to a certain point, but it's not far enough. And then of course, I kind of feel like I ruined what I've gained by going back immediately to, food like burgers and chicken and pizzas and stuff like that. Oh, yeah. It takes me a month or so, but I do go back. I've always gone back. So that's why you see that gut, because that gut is there for a reason. I earned that. I earned it. You know how you train for the ultra marathons? Well, I earned that gut. That's I earned it. Plenty of air, all that. So I gotta be mindful. But I like the part when you mentioned about gratitude, man. Just stay in gratitude, especially during this process to recreate a a whole new habit. Because I feel like, and I read this somewhere, that for every harsh word and thought that you think and say, it it you need like 10 good ones to kind of even it out. So if you could just stay mindful and stay grateful. Don't jump out of bed. Take your time, thank God for the day, visualize your day, and just be grateful for what you have, and think of like 10 things a day in the morning that you're grateful for: the air, the water, this process, Kristopher, yourself, it could be anything. It could be the pen you're writing with, just try to stay mindful. This is a time to really, really be grateful. I'm glad you mentioned that, because that's what got me through it every time I did it. I tried to stay grateful. If you think you have problems, man, look outside. There's a lot of homeless people out there. There's a lot of people that didn't wake up this morning. There's a lot of people that are seriously disabled. You have not a problem in the world. Trust me, whoever you are blessed beyond measure. So but we don't give enough thought to that. We just kind of just go along, we get along with our day, and and that's why time goes by so fast, because we're not living in our life experience. Life is happening to us. We are not controlling our destiny, and we can. And I know it. I know we can. You got to just, this is the time to just be mindful of that, and just try to journal a little bit about this experience, journal about it. Whatever feelings come up, write them down. It makes it so much easier, man. And you'll find that when this is over, you'll be a whole new person. Because right now you're all a hybrid. We're all hybrids right now, because we're not really ourselves. But this process can bring you back to who you really are, from your higher self. And I think that's what we all want. I know I want that. I really want that. When Kristopher mentioned the awakening, like stay off the animals, 90 days on juice, that's called the awakening. That hit me like a ton of bricks. Not that I've never heard him say that before, but I think it just shows that I'm ready to do that now. Whereas, you can hear something 100 times, but that's like a seed being planted until you're ready. Like this process, nobody would be doing this right now if they weren't really ready to do it. So once again, I want to applaud you guys for that, those that are doing the water. And it's hard for me not to feel guilty not doing the water. But for those that are not doing the water, don't feel guilty. You have your reasons. Like some of us in a cold climate, some of us are doing strenuous stuff, and it would almost be a little impossible right now. So don't feel like, if you're listening to this later and you don't come on the call because you're not doing the water, don't feel bad, But at some point, you do need to do the fast. You do need to do the water fast, and just try to get in on one of Kristopher's next ones, So I just want to leave with this, like, this will bring you back to your higher self. When I was a kid, I used to think I was Bruce Lee, because I would go see a Bruce Lee movie, and then I came out thinking I was Bruce Lee. When Magic was playing, I would try to be Magic. Well, guess what? You can try to be you. With this process, you can be a superstar. You're a superhero to somebody. There's somebody watching you right now, wishing they could be more like you, and you don't even know it. So, be you, like be your higher self, aspire to be your best self. So use this process to know that you're the best, man. Go to the mirror, love on yourself. Naked, like walk around naked and love on your body. Love yourself. Even if you're fat, whatever, it doesn't matter. Like you can fix that. You can fix anything, but you got to start knowing that you could do it. This process is going to wake you up. Anyone that's never done this before. And another thing, if you're a healer or an empath, or you call yourself healing people, how are you going to heal people when you're not healed? How are you going to coach people when this will bring you back to ground zero and put you in a position to be able to heal anyone, because you'll be so pure. You'll be like a beacon, so that's another thing, like this this is like I could go on and on about this process. I've been through it a couple of times, and I'm telling you, there's nothing in the world like it. And so just think of it like this. This is preventative medicine, right? Because if we don't do this, what's down the road, as Kristopher says, we're gonna start breaking down. All right. So I'd rather be 100 years old riding a bike on the beach, with a woman half my age, sorry, and still having sex, because even as a young man, I was impotent for a while. I was impotent, and I have no problem admitting that I was impotent, and that was dietary, and I was in my 20s. Okay, so this is serious, man. Like, this will get you. This is like preventive medicine. Wouldn't you like prevention instead of intervention? This will prevent you from having to go down that road. So I just this is quality of life for when we get older. So if you do it now, you don't have to do it later. So I just want to leave you with that. Kristopher is the way. I'm telling you, I've done it. And if you do it, if you stick with it, keep your thoughts positive, stay with good words, change your words too. Words have power. After a while, a few days, it'll be a whole new you. And things will just come to you a lot easier. I've done it, and I went back. So I don't want to go back this time. But anyway, I don't. That's all I want to say. I'm glad to be a part of this. I can't wait until my thing is over so that I can water fast, because I'm gonna fast. I love fasting now because I know the blessing that it brings. All right, guys, I appreciate it. And thanks for listening. And I appreciate this process, man. Kristopher, thank you once again. And everybody, Sierra, Prema, I see Makiba, I think that's her. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Spider. Thank you, man. And thank you for everything that you shared. I appreciate it. It means a lot. I absolutely appreciate it. Not only to have another male voice, but to have somebody as thorough as you, somebody who I know who's been through this process. And very forthright. I love your transparency with regard to how, not only with the impotency, but with the diet scenario, how going through the process, but you've experienced going back to eating the SAD diet or the standard American diet, and how, you want to, stay in the upgrade. If you want to, you'll always get the blessings for doing the fast. But if you want to stay at that level, you just have to eat a certain thing. You just have to eat a certain way. So thank you, bro, just for your, for who you are.
Thank you, man.
No
Thanks,
doubt. No question. Makibra, can we hear from you, dear? How are you on day of 10?
Good morning, all.
Oh, good morning. How you doing?
I'm good. Usually I'm up and all the rest. Today I decided to take the call from my bed.
Okay. Now, I thought, Makibra, aren't you no work today?
No, actually, I did a cameo on Sunday. I was off Monday and Tuesday. I just worked Wednesday and Thursday this week. Then I'll be off the weekend till Monday.
Oh, wow. Okay, you got it pretty good then. Okay, I'm glad it's like that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. How are you? How are you, dear?
I'm good, but when I got up this morning, I had a slight nosebleed and I have the hives again. So the hives on my chin and across the top of my chest.
You know what? That's a good sign. It just means your body is, this is a detox. You're just going through, even with the nosebleed and the hive, just a detox. I had a young lady who did it for 40 days. She started to get hives and all type around like day 11. So yeah. And all of our detoxes will be different. So how are you feeling as far as your strength? Are you still, are you cool?
Oh, yeah. No, my strength is okay. Actually, okay. I had some crazy strength. And it was crazy because I was sitting out and I had cooked for the kids yesterday. And my daughter had came home. I was sitting at the table with them, as they were eating. And she was like, "Mommy, you just really need to eat." And I mean, I went all out. I had fixed them 3-grain wild rice with some broccoli. I made her some fish, my son some chicken. And of course, they like French fries, so I did French fries on the side. Yes, French fries. I can't hear you though, but I can see your mouth.
I know, right? I know. Are you kidding me, Makira? No, I'm just joking. I'm joking.
I know, right? I said, I guess the inner fat girl of me was hungry too, but I'm like, I'm not hungry.
look at Sierra. I know. Oh wow, that's so awesome. That's awesome, Makira.
That's amazing, Makira. I could not do that. You are so strong.
You're a beast. I know.
I mean, I think it's more mind over matter, and I know what I'm expecting. And I did it the first time by myself. So I'm like, if I can do it by myself, actually it's much easier with you guys, all the commentary, the encouragement, and knowing that as long as I stay in this space and place of gratitude, I really don't have too much, to worry about it. And me, I never really allowed my circumstances to dictate how I'm supposed to feel. So that really kind of allowed me, I guess, to stay above those encouragement. That's why I purposely wanted to share my testimony with you guys at the beginning of this thing.
Yes. And that really helped. That helped so much, Makira, simply because to me that's just beast mode. that's a lot of determination. Obviously you needed what you were committed, you needed something and you were hell-bent on getting it. Yeah. Wow, that's good. So
and I'm literally that instrument that the violin take it by force.
Yep.
And even with my position and what I do in earth realm, it all lines up to that. And sometimes we go above and beyond our current circumstances to obtain or achieve the goal that's at hand.
No question. Tell me, when is your birthday?
November 4th.
Scorpio. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So it's funny because when President Obama became president, he became president on your birthday. He got elected on your birthday. He won on your birthday back in 2000, back in 08.
08, the second Tuesday. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yep. The second Tuesday. Wow. I remember that. Okay. Wow. Well, thank you. Anything else? Yeah. Anything else you want to share?
No. I just want to tell everybody, just be encouraged. We almost over halfway through this thing, and it's been easy so far.
Yeah, it's not been, and it goes by quick. It has been pretty easy.
Yeah.
It has been.
And it's always good to see you. And no, I don't want to see your avatar, because when I see your face, I was like, oh, it's a new day.
I know. That's so cool, Makira. Hey, babe, how did you like the monologue? Did you get something out of the monologue when we talked about the oxygen, acid, Gethsemane, and all that good stuff? The good news.
Yes, sir. I always take notes, so I have my little notepad.
That's good.
It's always a good reflection point to just reflect back.
Okay. Good. Okay.
Hey, Makira.
Yes.
What are you thinking when you're cooking food?
Most times I have a song in my heart, so most times it's more praise that I'm actually doing this for my family, and it's more like I'm doing it more unconsciously than actually being there in a moment. It's almost like you kind of like transcend. So I'm really like praising, and the kids be like, the food be so good. I was like, I can't taste it or anything like that. So I'm just doing it for my family.
Okay.
Wow, that's so deep.
That is. Wow. Thank you so much, Makira.
This is a prime example of the power of the mind. One of the things that people who become undisciplined believe is that they have no power. I remember talking with a good friend of mine who's a doctor, and he said Sierra, you have great discipline. And I was like, no, I don't know, you know, what you're talking about. It. He said, yeah, you eat ice cream every night at 8 o'clock. He was like, that's discipline, you know? And I was like, and I mean, literally I did. Even if I was out, I was stopping at TCDY or whatever, you know, because it was 8 o'clock and it was time for my dessert. And I was raised with 6-course meals and there was dessert every single night. And so I was conditioned to eat dessert. And he was like, oh my God, you're more disciplined than most people I know. Like 8 o'clock, I could be somewhere and it would be 7:55 and I'd be like, it's almost 8 o'clock. And I was stopping. I mean, I used to go through Haagen-Dazs like it was nothing every week. And so what McKeever is showing is that it's discipline. It's what we talked about earlier in the week about that discipleship, about being able to be taught so that you can teach. I placed my children back into the lifestyle they had before I started slacking. And so my children are back on plant-based eating. And I can tell you, they are so happy. They had so much energy. My son last night was just like, you know, mommy, I'm so happy. This food is delicious. And they're eating everything plant-based and excited about it. I noticed that their breath was putrid in the morning. I'm like, you are 9. What are you eating? It was like they were just biting on their intestines in their sleep, you know, and wake up. And I'm like, oh, Father, you know, they woke up this morning after being on now for 9 days, plant-based. Woke up this morning like their breath wasn't smelling and, you know, they were bright-eyed and happy, a lot lighter. My son was suffering from like this putrid gas. And so he wasn't having that issue anymore for like the last 3 days. So the kids are really happy. I haven't been hangry. I haven't been tripping. I'm getting ready to go to the gym now and just take a walk, relax myself. It's really cold, but I'm saying to myself, you know, this is finally your time. You know, this is your time to recognize the power of your mind. This is your time to get complete with the things on the inside that are holding you back. This is your time to hone in the insecurities and the disbelief and the unbelief and so many things that are going forward. And so, you know, the fact that she's able to cook a meal, not tasting everything, really just shows the you know, how powerful this event is for us, because I think many of us are conquering things that we normally would not have conquered without it. So for that,
I am grateful too. Thank you so much, Sierra, for sharing that. And have a great walk, hike at the gym, you know, what you're doing. And thanks for the testimony with regard to your kids, because if you can keep your kids on the side of raw food, they will be happier kids. And you know, let those kids eat fruits and raw veggies, and they'll be happier. You know, again, I always tell people, being vegan is a good step, but it's just a step. If this is karate, it'd be like a white belt or a green belt. The ideal is to get to a high raw level. That's where in life, it's all about life and death. You can be vegan and still be in death. So not just being vegan. That's a first step. So thank you, dear. And I'm honored to be on the journey, you know, with you, and you know, being able to, you know, just, you know, have our moments on the call and throughout. So, anybody else? Thanks, Sierra. Thank you so much, dear. Just wanted to love on you. Namaste. Namaste to you. Anybody else on the call that wants to share, that hasn't shared, or if you've shared, if you want to share some more? Anybody want to share? Okay, hey guys, listen. I like, see, here's the thing. I love it when we can get on the call, I can do the monologue and everybody share and we're good, and then we can end the call. I don't have to go 2 hours or an hour and a half. We can go in about an hour and 15 minutes right now. So I'm gonna go one more time, guys. Does anybody on the call want to say anything or share before we end it up? Everybody's good? This is day 10, guys. Let me just encourage everybody to, you know, just to drink water, continue to drink water, rest. Makibra, you, probably more than you and Tersha, stay on that gallon and get a day, dear, until for at least a week. Ideally, really for the whole rest of the fast. You can do it for the rest of the fast because you did the drive, okay? So, again, stay focused. This has been an amazing call. I just want to thank everybody for being a part of it. You guys give me so much strength and hope. It hasn't been easy. I'll be honest with you, it hasn't been easy for me. It's very difficult in my situation right now, and having to come, you know, just, it's a lot of work. It's not easy. So I just want to thank you all for your prayers and for your strength and for everything that you've given to me. I need to give a special shout out to my Robin, to Prema. Thanks, Key, again for everything. And thanks, everybody. So, guys, listen, make it a great day. This call is over. Take care, guys. Enjoy. Thank you, Pete. We're done. We're done.